Isabella Rossellini one night in a restaurant called Allo Allo. Dino De Laurentiis owned this restaurant, and I was with Raffaella De Laurentiis's ex-husband, JP. I was having dinner, and just as we were leaving, we saw two or three girls sitting at a table, and two of them I recognized as working for Dino. Since Dino owned this restaurant, I guess a lot of Dino people, went there. And I noticed a quite beautiful woman sitting with them that I didn't know. And we went and said hello to these women, and they asked us to sit down for a moment, and we sat down. And I looked at this beautiful woman sitting opposite me, and I said, you could be Ingrid Bergman's daughter. And the girl said, you stupid, she is Ingrid Bergman's daughter. And so that's how I met Isabella. And that night, looking at her, I was casting, a film Blue Velvet. I started thinking maybe, and one thing led to another, and Isabella played Dorothy in Blue Velvet.
I met Isabella, wouldn't remember this, but I met Isabella in Central Park in New York. We were both petting the same dog. We're both dog lovers. And I looked down and I realized this other person petting this dog was Isabella Rossellini. And I immediately cared less about this dog I'd been attracted to. And I could tell this dog loved Isabella because it turns out she's wonderful with animals. And I became jealous of the fact that Isabella seemed to like this dog more than she liked me, this total stranger standing next to her. So the dog had taken Isabella's hand quite affectionately in its mouth, and Isabella was totally comfortable with that. And I remember, out of sheer petulant jealousy, shoving my hand in the dog's mouth too, so I could show both the dog and Isabella that I could have my hand in a dog's mouth. And I think it just got a bit too much for the dog and for the dog's owner, and they left, and then I guess Isabella and I just parted company. But I ended up meeting her officially later when she just agreed to work on my project, The Saddest Music in the World.
She's so nice and generous that she replaced me twice in my Italian cinema class. It was a surprise. So my students didn't know that Isabella was coming to class to discuss about her father, Paisa or Open City. But I want to say this because it's a pure, generous human being, and her beauty reflects what she is inside.
My greatest memory of our early friendship and collaboration was watching the bold, radical, boundaryless bravery that she showed playing Dorothy Valance in Blue Velvet. I'd never seen anything like it.
The day that we spent together fairly recently, just kind of a day with Isabella, so I came to her place in Bellport. She introduced me to all her animals. I had been there before, and she showed me all the things that she'd done and the changes that she'd made. And then we went to the farm and we just kind of walked, and I love to garden. I love to spend time in the garden, and I was very jealous and impressed with what she had created out of a forest. And I was like, my gosh, I have a hard time putting in a little 4x4 garden bed box here in my home in Los Angeles. She's created a working farm.